All right, now we're going to talk about 5.2. We've talked about adding and subtracting binomials and polynomials and monomials, and now we're going to talk about multiplying. So all that you need to know when you're multiplying is, 1, you always have to follow the rules of the order of operations. 2, whenever you're multiplying two variables that have different exponents, whenever you multiply them, you add the exponents. Just like that. Okay? So let's do a few examples, and I like to just tell you whenever we're doing this, do the coefficients first and then each variable in whatever order you want to. So let's do an example. I've got negative 8 x to the 4th y to the 7th times 5 x to the 3rd y squared. Okay, so let's look at just the coefficients first. What's negative 8 times 5? Well, I happen to know that's 40. Okay, and so I've taken care of that. Now, x to the 4th, x to the 3rd. If I'm multiplying these, what do I do to the exponents? I add them. So that would be x to the 7th. And then y, I'm multiplying these, so what do I do to the exponents? I add them, so that's y to the 9th. Done. All right, let's do yet another one because I can tell through this video that you are just loving this. So 3a squared times a squared minus b squared. Okay, so this is interesting. I'm going to have to distribute this just like I did the negative in 5.1. I have to distribute this to each one. And so what that means is I multiply this by each one. So first I'm going to look at this one. 3a squared times a squared. Well, that would just be 3a to the 4th, because 2 plus 2 equals 4. Okay? Now let's do the next one. A positive and a negative, if I multiply these together, it's going to be negative. There's no other coefficient, so I'll put a 3 there. And then what's a squared times b squared? Well, I can't make it a weird thing like some letter in between a and b, and so I just write that, a squared, b squared, and that's it. All right, let's keep on going. Now this is something that you're all familiar with, but I am going to say it yet again. So if I have two binomials, this is really important to note. If I have two binomials and I'm multiplying them together, then I use a process that a lot of people like to call FOIL. And it stands for first, outside, inside, and last. And all that means is that when I'm multiplying, I multiply the first two together, and then the outside together, and then the inside together, and the last together. So in this case, a times c is ac, and then the outside would be AD, and then the inside would be BC, and then the last would be BD. Okay? Now let's try that with some real numbers. X plus 3, X plus 4. Okay? The other way you can think about this is I'm taking this X and I'm distributing it to both of these. And then I'm going to take this 3 and I'm going to distribute it to both of these. So however you want to think about it. First, x squared. Outside, 4x. Inside, 3x. Last, 12. And then these are like terms. So my final answer is x squared plus 7x plus 12. Now, just for fun, I want you to notice that 3 times 4 equals 12. And what does 3 plus 4 equal? 7. So the last two multiplied together equal this one, and added together equal the coefficient for the middle term. That's really important to note. Okay? So, let's talk about two more things. And these are just how two special circumstances that when you multiply the binomials, they turn out to be something unique. So watch this. a plus b times a minus b. Okay? If I FOIL this, this becomes a squared minus ab plus ab. No, ba and ab, those are the same things. And then minus b squared. Well, what happens to these? Minus ab and plus ab, they cancel out. They add together to give 0. So it becomes a squared minus b squared. Now note, if they look exactly the same except they have different signs, then the final is a squared minus b squared. This is called a difference of squares. Okay? And then the final special circumstance is a plus b squared. Okay? So that obviously equals a plus b times a plus b. Okay? And if I FOILed it, it would be a squared plus ab plus ab plus b squared, which equals a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. But an easier way to think about this is if it's squared, square the first one, square the last one, and then it's 2 times a times b. 2 times a times b, and that's your middle term. Okay? So let's do a really quick one. Let's say x plus 3 squared. Well, I'm just going to square the first one, x squared, square the last one, plus 9. 2 times 3 is 6 times x. 2 times 3 times 6. 2 times 3 is 6 times x is 6x. Done. And I would have gotten the exact same thing if I had FOILed it. So that's all the wonderful information that you need to know from 5.2.